Good Erev Pesach. We're about to enter a very different Pesach, and I'd like to present and take a few minutes to present a Drasha, but this won't be a regular Drasha. This is going to be a Drasha in a few steps, because Pesach is always a time about dialogue, and this Pesach, it's much harder to have dialogue. So I'd like to set up a dialogue for us. A few steps. There's going to be source sheets which can be found below in the link, and you're going to be able to have the opportunity of leading that dialogue, leading that conversation, perhaps with a Seder, with your family, or by ourselves even, as we investigate these ideas, as we try to unpack these ideas. Let's start the first chapter. The first chapter is actually the Mazel Tovs and unfortunately the condolences of this week. I'd like to start off by wishing a very special Mazel Tov to Esther and Baruch Weinstein on the birth of a granddaughter to their children Tova and Mikey Cook. Bishar Tova is a wonderful, wonderful simcha. She should grow up to a bas aliyah. She should grow up to Torah, uluchupa, ulama'asim tovim, and bring as much joy as she has brought to a very dark time for the rest of her life to the world. Also, fresh off the press is a special Mazel Tov to David Iskowitz on the birth of a granddaughter to Lindsay and Noah Weinreich. Down south, Be'ezras Hashem, she too should bring tremendous nachas to you, to the entire mishpacha, always. We should watch her grow up to be an exemplar, a bas aliyah. And finally, a very special Mazel Tov, as of this very morning, to Yitz and Lisa Grossman upon the birth of a grandson to Zachary and Ariella Grossman. What a beautiful simcha to have a Bechor on the day of Ta'anis Bechorim is a very special thing, and God willing, he should enter B'vrisoi Shel Avraham Avinu Be'itzoi Uvizmanoi. Unfortunately, this is a complicated week, and there are many condolences going forth from last Shabbos, where the announcements were missed because of Shabbos Agadol. I want to just make mention of, we mourn the loss of our member, Mrs. Eva Friedman, whose Shiva was last week, a member of our Shul for many good years. We also mourn the loss of Rabbi Moshe Leifer, who passed away last Shabbos. The Shiva concluded just before Parashas Tzav, and we extend condolences belatedly to Chani Klein, to Malki Rosen, to Mordi, and to Yoni Leifer. Be'ezras Hashem, they should only know Nechumim. We're also just witnessing the conclusion of the Shiva for Mrs. Lorraine Newman. We wish chizuk to the children, Chani, Robin, and Adel, and the entire mishpacha. Continued chizuk during this time. We're also towards the end now of the Shiva of Michelle Selig for her father, Rabbi Hai Arbesfeld, a towering figure, a human being who changed the world in many incredible ways, and we're left in a void. Be'ezras Hashem, the family should only know chizuk. We are also mourning the loss of our member for many years, Mr. Harvey Colton. Olav Hashalom, who passed away tragically last week, a person who was always in Shul, who was always telling people Divrei Torah, who always had a smile on his face, a person who loved people and loved Shul, and we as the Shul, and we deeply miss him already. We also extend condolences to Sammy Berger upon the loss of his youngest brother, Moish Berger of West Hampstead, and it's a terrible, terrible tragedy. There's no words to say. Metz Hashem, we should only have continued smachos. And this morning to Mrs. Hannah Ginsburg upon the loss of her father, her beloved father, the burial taking place later today, and the shiva will be this evening. It's been a very, very difficult week and a half for the Shul, for the community, and for Klal Yisrael and the world at large. God willing, we should only know chizuk, we should only know strength, and come together around good things here on inwards.